Hi, welcome to this session on fluid immersion simulation. My name's Debbie and I'm Clinical Director at Medstrom. At Medstrom, we are really passionate about making sure that any claims made about products are underpinned by clinical evidence. I myself am undertaking a master's degree at Sheffield University in clinical research so I can further enhance our provision of clinical evidence and the messages that we use about our products. So the first patient placement of Dolphin was in 2012, and ever since that first placement we have collected clinical outcomes and we now have over 1,000 patient sample that can help us to testify to the results that Dolphin therapy provides patients who are highly complex and in need of therapy. For anybody who hasn't had experience of using or exposure to air fluidization and fluid immersion simulation, just have a very brief overview so that visually we can show you what these therapies do. The first of these is air fluidization therapy. So the reason that air fluidization is so beneficial for patients is it literally creates an artificial fluid environment upon which the patient becomes buoyant in. So if we use this apple, we can see that when the air starts to blow through these silicone beads, you can see by this surface it creates an artificial fluid. So the patient, when they're nursed upon this surface, becomes buoyant. This means that soft tissue is not compressed and perfusion is much easier to achieve. If we put the apple in, we can see it become completely buoyant. So another way that we can show fluid simulation and why it makes such a difference to tissues is very quickly using this fishbowl and tissue sample. So if we use this as an example of a cell or a group of cells, when we lie on a surface, both weight, our own weight, and gravity presses down on the soft tissue or the cell. Over time, loading a cell for a prolonged period of time or heavy loading of a cell can cause the cell structure to be damaged. When that happens, all the cells around the cell that is damaged then have to bear the weight that that cell would have been sharing for a structure around them. This can cause an inflammatory response. So the compression of the soft tissue, in addition to the inflammatory response, means that there's less perfusion to the cells, and that can over time lead to ischemia and tissue damage. By comparison, when we have a cell or a tissue in a fluid medium, you can see that the structure of the cell or the cells remains fully patent. It hasn't been compressed by weight or gravity, which means there is no damage to the cell, there's no ischemic changes, and there's great perfusion to that structure. I hope that this brief overview of this classification of mattress has been of use. We have a team of over 13 nurses and many other members of the multidisciplinary team who would love to take this conversation further with you if you feel that it is of interest to you. Please get in contact with us. We'd love to share further evidence and testimonies with you.